I have some more time, but does it? Yeah, I know, I'm bad too. It's hard.
I'm so glad everyone's chatting because like feels very full and like friendly in here. Welcome. It is 6:33 p.m. on Thursday, February 12th, 2026, and this is the general meeting of the Board of Intermediate District 287. Forgot to ask someone to read the mission, so I'm just gonna I'm gonna point it down. And would you read the mission and then start our board member introduction, please?
Thank you, Madam Chair. The mission of Intermediate School District 287 is to be the premier provider of innovative specialized services to ensure that each member district can meet the unique learning needs of its students. My name is Dan Genestra. I represent Wayzata Public Schools.
Kim Ross representing Eden Prairie.
Ken List representing Richfield.
Caroline Long from Robbinsdale School District.
Mike Remical representing Minnetonka District.
Rich Sack, Brooklyn Center. Ryan Roth from West Tonka.
Leslie Locke from Orono.
Michael Bergman representing Dinan Public Schools.
Shannon Andreessen representing Hopkins Public Schools.
And Casey proudly representing St. Louis Park. Okay, the first item on our agenda is to approve our agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Moved by Shannon, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mike. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The chair votes aye and the agenda is approved. Do we have anyone signed up for audience opportunity to speak tonight? Okay, thank you. Then we have our consent agenda, which just contains some routine business items that we kind of pass all together at once. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Moved by Michael. Second. Second by Kim. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The chair votes aye and the consent agenda is approved. And now we're at our favorite part, the share the success and recognitions. So we have first our student spotlight from ABAC, and who is going to principal like I'm looking right here. Principal Cook from ABAC is going to talk about our student spotlight.
All right. Good evening, Madam Chair and Superintendent Dowd. My name is Amanda Cook. I am the principal at Ann Brummer Education Center, and I am here to do both the student spotlight this evening and also highlight our above and beyond winner. For tonight, however, we have Miss Holly Peterson. Miss Peterson is here as a teacher to represent and introduce our student spotlight.
Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, board. Good evening. I'm Holly Peterson. I'm a high school teacher at Ann Brummer Education Center. And tonight I am very, very honored to introduce you to one of our best of 287, Armani High. Mani has joined us during his 9th grade year. And if you knew him then, I think you would agree that his progress and physical recovery have been nothing short of remarkable. Armani and his mother, Denisha, have developed a very strong partnership with District 287. In the last 4 years with us, there's been a true teamwork, whether it be with like your specialists, like your OT, PT, TBI, speech, social workers, Dave, like you got a whole group of people that you work with. Our dedicated school nurses that get to see you almost every day, coming in with a smile.
Got the final lamp.
Yep. So they get a friendly visit, or when you trust your talented ESP team to help you with like motivation or just getting mentoring from them. You're really good at seeking them out. Armani truly knows everyone in the building, but knowing Mani means you get to witness a student who's made personal commitment to positivity. And trust me, when you talk to Armani or when you hear him tonight, you will leave with a smile. He's constantly giving back to others by remembering names, bringing smiles to everyone that he interacts with, through his quick wit, his fun greetings, and just your special style. You model what it looks like to be an all-around great student. You're a young adult who lets your peers know that it's important to go to college. You're a student that helps other students do better in their class. Armani represents so many things that are great about 287. As he shares some of his story tonight, I invite you all to notice the leadership, the kindness, the humor, and the incredible commitment to achievement that you show every day in our schools. Board members, class of 2026 senior, Armani Hyde.
Hi, my name is Armani Hyde. I'm 18. I go to Ann Bremer Education Center. I'm a senior. In the year of 2022, summer, I had got shot in my head on doing stupid things with my life. I was in the path of not doing good things, but that substitution out of being in the streets, it made me go to the school of Ann Bremer. When I got to Ann Bremer, I was on the road of straight going to get the person that shot me back of unaliving them. But then one of my close people died, and it turned me from a childish boy on bad behavior to a young man trying to succeed a dream that he has in his head. Okay, so that's what I did. And Bremer District 287, they helped me a lot. Every day I was going to Ann Bremer from 9th to 10th grade, I was an angry boy that made people laugh. 11th to 12th grade, 287, they helped me become a young adult that's trying to find a way to be an adult into an adult that's actually doing stuff to be an adult. You know what I'm saying? Granny. I got it.
You wanna answer some questions?
If you
Any questions?
comments or questions.
Any questions?
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And I've heard some of the words about you first were like one of our best.
I am the best.
Yes. Special style. I see it. 100%. The leadership and the kindness and the commitment, I'm seeing all that. So it is that all that is very much on display here. And we're super proud to have you here. And we're glad that 287 turned out to be a great place for you. Do other board members have any comments or questions for Armani? Yeah, Michael.
So Armani,
How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you? Good.
Great.
I just wanted to tell you that I actually trained as a trauma surgeon, and so to see, we see kids like you go through the process and heal and get better and get out of the hospital. But it's so heartwarming to see how you are doing now and to see how people do afterwards. We rarely ever get that sort of full circle view as a trauma surgeon. So thank you for coming here. Thank you for succeeding so well.
You're welcome. Any more questions?
I have one question. As you approach graduation, what do you look forward to after graduation?
A lot of things. That's the thing about it. Everybody always taught me of growing up, you can only have one source of income. I feel like when I turn to the age of 25, I'm going to have 10 sources of income, and they're all going to be successful because I'm putting my right eye to it. One eye working, one eye hurt. So I always got to use the one that worked to get me through the stuff that hurt. That was a part. Okay. Any more questions and comments?
That was a great.
I don't even know what I just said. That not still with me. No, I said I can't.
Did you just make that up?
Yeah.
That was
Oh yeah, and I am also a rapper. I made a song for Ann Bremer, performed it. I didn't like that performance. I didn't like the clothes I was wearing in that performance. The school absolutely loved the performance. Me hated the performance. But at the end of the day, I'm here. District 287 is a great school district to join, and y'all should all join it if you have a youthly child on your team and he's not focused on the right things in their life. Amen. Great school.
One question.
More questions. More questions.
He had a son who graduated from Ann Bremer. He thinks he's the best thing that ever came out of Ann Bremer.
May I know your son's name?
Foster.
Never heard
He's a
of.
little ahead.
Never heard.
Maybe it's a generation.
I don't think bro is that thing walking like I'm that thing walking. You know what I'm saying? You gotta keep shake shaving.
Cool though, right?
Great school.
Great.
Great school. And one more comment on going to 287. Being in 287, they will make you mad, but they're only making you mad for you to bring the best out of your madness. Because there was plenty of days and plenty of years I would walk in there and remember just like, why am I here? But then I became a grown young adult with a smile on his face, one eye open and a permanent wink. Any more questions or comments?
I just want to thank you for being here and for sharing yourself with us because it means a lot. And I know you said that you're a rapper, but you are a poet and it just flows out of you.
That's
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you for giving me a new word to call myself. Hey, Mike, I see you over there. Shout out to Mike. He helped me with math. Shout out to Trey. He helped me. That's my one-on-one. Shout out to all of the staff. And then remember, they are all healthy people. They are all people that make me happy. And all of you guys are too, because y'all are all 6'7".
To the adults who came here for our Money's night, I can see the pride in all of your faces, and we are, I mean, if that's not an advertisement for graduation, then so I hope all of you can get to that graduation. Yeah, awesome, thank you so much. Okay, Amanda, you have anything else? Okay.
How do you follow up behind Armani, right? Sitting there thinking, how do I follow up with this?
Do it the other way around. I mean, I have the students first, but it is very hard.
Yes, absolutely. Wonderful. Okay. Well, yes, it will be truly difficult to follow up to Armani, but I do agree. Thank you for coming and supporting Armani to his team. They do an excellent job, and I think that's evidence in Armani here today. So I'm glad you got to experience the same joy and pleasure we get on a daily basis. So, okay, so moving and shifting gears, I'm also here to introduce and celebrate the Ann Bremmer Education Center Above and Beyond winner. This year, our team has nominated and agreed upon honoring Megan Dargis, who is an ESP in our Tier 2 transition program with the award. Megan has been in District 287 for over 18 years. She started at Hosterman, actually, quite a few years ago, and has been in various programs throughout the district. Megan more recently moved to Ann Bremmer Education Center from Northwest Tech Center. And so she is, new and integrated into that community. Not only is Megan an outstanding ESP in our Tier 2 transition program, she also takes on several additional responsibilities. To name a few, Megan is our lead PBIS and Wellness Committee. She's a mentor to multiple new ESPs. She also supports science activities in our Tier 3 program. And she leads our community through the preparation of graduation ceremonies. And if you've ever gone through the onboarding and working through of that process, you know that that's no easy task. There are a lot of pieces that go into thinking about the graduation. Megan is noted to be selfless and resourceful. This time of the year, Megan is focused, her shift of her focus moves into our ABEC garden. She works with our students to purchase little plants and plants them in our garden in the backyard. Not only does this bring beauty to our school, but it also serves as an educational space for our students. Not to mention all the fresh fruits and vegetables that our students enjoy as a result of the garden. Furthermore, her efforts in organizing animal therapy sessions demonstrates the innovative approach to student wellness and providing comfort and unique learning experiences. One of her colleagues said this about Megan. Megan, time and time again, shows her dedication to her students and the ABEC community as a whole. Between leading science, changes to the PBIS and wellness committees, she's constantly coming up with creative projects and finding new opportunities for others. She is a large part of what makes ABEC run. She is the best fit for this award, no question. So we are very excited for Megan. Unfortunately, she was unable to be here tonight. She had prior commitments that she really wanted to go through with. But we did take a lovely photo of Megan as she received that award. She was very surprised, and thank you, Marcy, for coming out and meeting us. It was during actually a graduation meeting where we are already starting to plan for graduation. So we're very, very delighted that Megan has received this award. All right, any questions? Okay.
Comments or questions? Just congratulate her for us and thank her for 18 years of service to 287. That's amazing. I think that beats almost everybody in this room. So that's phenomenal. And I love hearing about the garden and the animals. And I think I said this last time when we had a student and then, you know, and up above and beyond, like, we know that the reason our students get to be awesome like this is because of the adults in the building. So it is a good way to follow. So thank you so much. And please do thank Megan
We
for
will.
us.
Yep, sure will.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. And you all, you don't have to stay for the rest of our board meeting. You can if you want to, but you don't have to. If you have any last, lines to drop, we
I love all you guys.
Yeah.
All you guys love me back.
Back at you.
This is on TV. I look for the camera. I never thought the camera. You too. I love you too. I'm gonna work. All you guys. Free George Floyd. I mean, one with George.
I have a new favorite too.
I know.
Like.
Okay, we don't have anything under our superintendent's report, and so our instructional report is on an update on career and technical, and we have Laura Wyatt, our CTE manager, who is going to provide the update.
Great. Perfect. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having us for Career and Technical Education Update. The reason we're here in February is because it's Career and Technical Education Month. Happy CTE month. Linked in the slides that will be shared with you, it's the Governor Walz's proclamation of CTE month in Minnesota. So it's a really fun time just to highlight what we're doing at the Career Tech Center and within our district, and really just tell you all about my role and what I've been up to. So this month it's put on by the Association for Career and Technical Education, or called ACTE, as we have a lot of acronyms in CTE. They coordinate this effort and they're celebrating their centennial celebration this year. So lots to mark this month. So what is CTE? What is Career Technical Education? It's been in existence since the passage of the Smith-Hughes Act in 1917. It's education focused on career fields, getting students ready for employment. So content areas like digital technology, which was not around in 1917, but has evolved now. The culinary arts, nursing, automotive technology, construction, and so many things more. CTE is not, the old term is vocational education, but we are focused on careers. So, and it is not just industrial technology or shop classes. So that CO2 car you made in 7th grade, yes, that was a CTE class, but it is much more than that, right? And that's what we do at our Career Tech Center. So within CTE, there's a lot of additional requirements by the teachers, by the program itself. One of the things that I really focus my work on is ensuring that career technical education programs are a reflection of the community they're in. So we have advisory committees for each of our content areas. We ask industry professionals, are we getting students ready for employment in your fields? And what can we do to partner together to really give students an authentic experience? There's also additional licenses, certifications, train the trainers. So like our culinary instructors have their Serve Safe certification because then they can then administer the test to students and students can get that industry certification, which gives them a competitive edge as they seek employment beyond our building. We also, because we're not a required program like math or science or English, we go through a process through the Department of Education called program approval. So that's every 5 years. And that's we are due for it in this fall. So that's really telling the Department of Education what we're up to, making sure we're in line with statute, all that fun stuff, which we are. So there's also a lot of industry frameworks and standards that we hit. So in addition to the standards set forth by the Department of Ed, we also want to make sure that we're partnering with industry, like I said, to give students an authentic experience. So we have different certifications and frameworks that we use to guide our curriculum. This is, and you have a printout of it because I don't think you can quite read that. But this is the career wheel. So it's showcasing all of the different fields that students can go into within career and technical education. This was just updated this year. It was quite the process as updating things and resources like these are. But that's the basis of what we offer at our Career Tech Center and how they relate to different career fields. So take some time to peruse that as you see fit. But that's really what guides our work. So in 287, we have lots of career and technical education. At all of our sites, we have work experience coordinators. So they are getting students experiences with work in the community. That is a career tech license through PELSB. So that is CTE in our district, but the big kind of highlight and what we're here to talk about tonight is our Pathways program at the Career Tech Center. So we call them shared time students. They come to us at the Career Tech Center from all over member districts, from our internal sites of 287 as well. They come for a 100-minute class period and then go back to their normal sites. So it was great to see Armani here because he actually is a Pathways student this year. So he leaves Ann Brummer for one of the class periods and then goes back during the day. And they're general education and special education. So they're general ed teachers that accommodate to students' IEPs if they see fit. So this is for any student within a member district of 287. Those are our current offerings there. I'll talk about the exciting things that we're adding for next year. But really popular classes with all of our students. It really depends on what member district to see which like classes are really popular. So it really, word of mouth is our biggest recruiter. So students will come for auto body and say, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So then next semester we have 5 more students from West Tonka that come for auto body because they share how great our programs are. So just some notable member district partnerships. We work with Eden Prairie specifically. So we have 2 medical careers teachers. Eden Prairie kind of reserves or buys out the spots in 2 of those nursing assistant sections. And it's their capstone project. So it's a capstone course. They get their certified nursing assistant certification. They get ready to take the test, but don't quite take the test because it's an additional cost after the class. But so that's a notable partnership with Eden Prairie. We're also working with Edina as they have a program redesign, really looking at what their courses could look like in the future and how 287 can help fill gaps in what they can and can't offer. But these are all of our sending schools to Pathways. So we have all of our 287 sites, and then different transition programs, ALCs, and then traditional high schools throughout all of our member districts. So yeah, it's great to see. Thank you for sending us your students. And we're growing, which is really exciting. So this semester, we have over 400 students coming to Pathways classes. As long as we've been tracking it, that is a career high. So you can see a chart there of our ADM. So because we only have students for about 1/3 of the day, we divide our number by 3, and that's like our ADM. This is also just another visual representation of the actual number of students in our classes. So the blue is in fiscal year 24, the red is 25, and then the yellow behind it is 26 this year. So we've got lots of students, lots of growth, which is exciting to see. We're also adding courses. So we're adding a new pathway next year, cosmetology. That's been a big ask by member districts because it is a pretty niche program. So a lot of member districts don't necessarily have the interest to support a full-time staff member for this, right? So, but when we have all these different schools coming to us, we have that those resources. So we're also adding some new programs within our courses. So mechatronics, that's kind of capturing like the STEM focused students. I like to think about it of like how machines work, right? Like robots, what are they doing for us and how can we work with that emerging technology? We're also adding electronics and circuits to our information technology pathway. We're expanding our construction program by offering residential construction and then an intro to healthcare course, which is kind of like an in-between level. If students are not quite ready for like the rigor of the CNA course, they can take that intro to healthcare. We're adding concurrent enrollment so students can also get college credit. Right now we have it in culinary arts and the nursing assistant class. We're adding it for our transportation classes next year, which is really exciting. So students can get college credit at no cost to them. A little bit about my role, because a CTE manager is kind of a unique position. So my job is supporting pathways and career and technical education throughout the entire district, which I love. I was an agriculture teacher before this, so this is really intersecting my passions of growing programs and helping students. So a lot of my time in the summer was spent creating resources for us to share internally and externally and really develop partnerships. So those are linked in the slides. Another thing you can peruse, I don't know, if you can't sleep tonight or something. But there's been really positive feedback from liaisons. So liaisons, each school that sends us students has what we call a liaison, which is like the point person we communicate with. So we have lots of good feedback there and students receiving the information. This is something I had put together in December, just like, oh, wow, I've worked here for 6 months. What have I done? Just like applying for different grants, hosting guest speakers, meeting with industry partners, meeting with member districts, and then really supporting our teachers as they grow their programs. As far as what's next, a lot of things. I have a lot of ideas. It'll really come as we go. We're streamlining our concurrent enrollment process to really make sure students are getting college credit if they're interested, conducting more outreach with industry partners, really making sure that we are supporting the industry standard for our students, getting ready for CTE program approval with Department of Ed this coming November, working with advisory boards, all kinds of different things. So that was a lot of information. What questions do you have?
I have a fun fact that I just learned from the superintendent this week that Intermediate District 287 was founded in 1965 for the purpose of creating economies of scale in CTE. So
There we go.
it is still a super important part of our foundation, right? And I don't think we talk about it a lot or enough, right? But I like that you showed, where the students come from.
Yeah.
And it's
And I
not
can go back
only
to
from
that.
our member districts, but all of our 287 sites, right? So it's a thing that has way more tentacles than we may think, right? And I think, oh, it's this thing that's out at, out in Prairie, whatever, out isolated, but it's touching all of these other buildings. So that is fantastic. And I just really appreciate being able to think about the trajectory of 287 from 1965 to now. So I don't have a question. That was just fun.
And I appreciate this slide, because that was one of my questions, like how do our students access concurrent classes?
Yeah.
Like, what is the process?
Definitely. So, and a lot of it is, so we see a lot of juniors and seniors and then transition age students because coming to us for a 100-minute class period takes a lot of time out of their day, right? So they, most of our liaisons are the school counselors, case managers, and they're the first point of contact that, okay, I want to go to a pathways class. Do I have room in my schedule? The sending schools oftentimes offer transportation. So which class time does the sending school offer transportation, or can I drive myself? and those different logistic things. So it starts with the liaison that we have at each school site. Mhm. Yeah.
Is any of this offered during the summer?
Scott's laughing because our answer is not yet. Yeah, that's our hope. Is maybe someday we can expand into summer offerings because of that restriction schedule, right? And so many kids, maybe they're in band or they want to take more CIS classes at their home high school. Like giving that access a little bit more is something that we're definitely looking into.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Specifically with Edina,
Yeah.
about summer programming and CT.
Cool.
So one of the things that we talked about at our board table in Eden Prairie several times is how do we normalize not going to college?
Mm,
And so I just kind of put that out there from the
Yeah.
standpoint, if you guys have any ideas about, you know, what a board can do or what
mhm,
can happen in the culture of a high school or whatever. Cause college is A, incredibly expensive,
mhm,
but B, not for everybody.
Yeah.
Right? And so, you know, we talk about that a lot and it's hard because, you know, unlike when kids go to college, we don't get reporting on what happens with kids. I mean, they would have to be self-reported. We choose not to go to college.
Yeah.
So just throw that out there. If you
Yeah.
guys have any ideas, we'd love to hear them.
Absolutely. And I think it's one of those things that is a shift that takes time, right? And that's hard because there are students falling through the cracks thinking they don't belong because they're not going to a four-year university. But a technical school or a short-term training program is the right option for them.
Well, and I think it's not just falling through the cracks,
Yeah.
it's wasting their time.
Right.
And money going to
Mhm.
college, right? When then they get there and they figure out, yeah, no, this is not my jam, you know?
Yeah. And that's,
Right, but they get the exposure
Yeah.
to these other classes.
Yeah.
Which is huge, right? Which is also really awesome that we're continuing to grow, because we're allowing more opportunities, maybe getting kids experiences, something they might not have ever thought about doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the major, there, I think the narrative of like it's one or the other
Right.
is also something that we're working on shifting, that if you are going into pre-med, the vast majority of pre-med students have a CNA certification,
Mhm.
right? So it's not one or the other either. It's, you know, this is a stepping stone. It's getting you invested into it. Now you can justify why I'm gonna spend the next 8 years of my life in med school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like, it can be a both and. It's
Uh-huh.
not an either or.
Right,
Yeah.
and you can also get paid to do this job while you're.
Why-
Exactly.
Yeah.
And one of like the big buzz phrases we use in CTE is high wage, high skill, and in demand, right? So like we're connecting students with those careers. Because there's a connotation that, oh, trade school is making less money, but that's not true, right? So like starting to have those conversations and really, I think something that we're doing more in Pathways is bringing in guest speakers to talk about like, yeah, you can live a comfortable life and work in the auto industry, like, and that's been really helpful.
Just Ken had a question.
Yeah, oh, now, yeah, wait, let me. Yeah, you know, back in the day, you were talking about how to get kids to, I have a couple of things, how to
Yeah.
get kids to go to a two-year institution and stuff. Well, you know, back in the day, a school's excellence was determined by how many kids went to a four-year institution.
Mhm.
So you have a whole, you read, it's called The Neglected Majority by a guy called Dale Parnell.
Okay.
Read it.
Yeah.
And he talks about that middle half of the schools, you know, not the four-year institutions and not the more needy students at the bottom quartile who get a lot of the money as well, but these kids are not in the so how do we do that?
Mhm.
You know, and I think the fact that you've separated the ALC away from the high school doesn't, you know, makes the competition different.
Mm,
And all of a sudden they're here because this is what they want to do. Now,
absolutely.
if, let's say that the jet mechanics schools were Delta now, wants to start a program, do you approach them or do they approach you?
That's a great question. I think it depends on the situation. Yeah. I think with like recruiting for advisory boards, I've been doing a lot of outreach myself. And I've found that a lot of industries are saying like, oh yeah, or companies, yeah, we want to partner with education. How do we do that? So I created like a partnership guide of, okay, do you want to come in to guest speak? Do you want to host your students for a field trip? Do you want to donate some equipment? Having those like really highlighted opportunities that make sense have really helped. Yeah. So, and there's been some folks that have reached out to us. I have the owner of 3 different Red Wing shoe stores has reached out and wants to educate students about how important the proper footwear is in the trades. So that's been a great connection to have. So it really is a bit of both.
Yeah. I think in general too, District 287 is not known the way each of your districts is. And so usually industry partners, if they're approaching an educational institution, it's approaching you guys.
Yeah.
So even knowing like if you don't have an auto program and someone comes to your board or business office and says, hey, we want to partner, knowing like just keeping us in mind. Fun fact too, we did have a student who is now working on Ospreys, which are the military plane.
Yeah, the ones with the.
Yep, they do the vertical takeoff.
Yeah.
Have you partnered with the military at all? I mean, I know the Navy used to do a tech prep program.
That's something
And I
we could
think it
look
was mostly
into.
for nuclear operators.
Yeah.
But even the transferability of the skills too, like this student took our auto tech class, learned all the ins and outs of engines.
Yeah.
And while he was focusing on car engines, there's a lot of transferable skills to jet engines, airplane engines.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Which is a good segue to the jet mechanic.
Yes.
I have a cousin who teaches there, so.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Hey, connections everywhere, right? It's not what you know, it's who you know. Yeah.
Is tech prep even a thing anymore?
No, not really.
When did that go
Yeah.
away?
That's a great question. Yeah.
It's not home.
So there's one term I did not hear in any of this.
Yeah.
You mentioned what it might be when it comes to career and technical education.
No.
What's the number one thing if you ask a high school student today, when they're thinking about their future, what is the one question they're always asking about their pathway? What is AI going to do? So to me, knowing what's going on, I know why they're talking to you, but also the whole high school program is being looked at and so on and so forth. Is that there's a lot of different things about, okay, where does AI fit in all of this? Both
Yeah.
as the opportunity, but also as the risk.
Yeah.
And so I think there's a great opportunity as you guys are continuing to look at things, how to be leaders in that. And as far as inquiring and coming up with curiosities about how do we unpack that huge elephant in the room?
Absolutely.
Because what I've found with my own students, I have my own high school students, but just in general, when I've talked to students, even if they're thinking for your career, for your college or whatever it is, there's a constant theme that says, well, why would I go into accounting when AI might completely unravel that?
Absolutely.
So I'm incredibly passionate about this because I think this is a weakness of Edina, to be honest with you. Which is why we're looking at things and I don't think enough people know about the program. But it's sort of like, this is an area where I think there's huge growth opportunity to happen. And so I'm excited about this presentation, but also those questions, I think, as we continue to lean into them.
Absolutely.
Seem like someone who definitely would be passionate about it.
Yeah. Cool. No, that's definitely something that is at the forefront, right? Hennepin Tech just added an AI program. So yeah, continuing to have conversations about what that looks like. Oh, thank you.
So,
Probably no secret that my community was that is going to a referendum and one of the items on the ballot is a CTE center. Before a district that's thinking about really, we have a CNA program currently, we're really expanding all of our options. What advice would you give? What variables do you look at as you return programming to students?
Definitely. As far as like for us still getting students at Pathways or just in general supporting career tech students?
In general,
Yeah, I think it's one of those things, kind of like we talked about, right? The narrative doesn't have to be you're going to a four-year Ivy League school and that's the only way to be successful, right? And I think Wayzata has a very strong career tech program and we're still able to partner with them a lot. I talked with one of the counselors who's the liaison and I said, you know, you've got a lot of these classes. Why do you still send students to us? And she said that for students that just need that change of setting, it's a great fit to come to our campus. And they're in classes with students from all these places, which is really fun because then they get to kind of reinvent themselves if they want to, make new friends. So that it can be a both and of Wayzata having super strong CTE and us as 287 filling those needs that you still have.
Excellent, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Awesome.
This is fantastic.
Yeah, thank you all so much for your time. I
Your
appreciate it.
enthusiasm.
Yeah.
So 6 months.
Yeah, I started in July, so yeah.
Worked out. Good.
Yeah.
That is amazing. It's
Yeah.
just so much work that's been done in such a short time. And thanks to both of you for being here and for supporting this.
I could not do it without Scott and Amanda's support, so
Who's
they're
responsible for hiring you?
those two.
Props.
So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank
Awesome.
you very much.
Thank you all so
Thanks,
much.
I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Right. Next up, we have our Business Services and Labor Relations Report, and we have Scott Lesage, our Director of Finance, who's gonna do our routine monthly finance report, which is an action item, so we'll be asked to approve this report after we hear from them.
Members of the board, Superintendent Dowd, thanks for letting me be here tonight. I don't know how I follow those, so I kept trying to think of really creative things. Dan would probably remember I always tried to add humor into my presentations. I don't know if I have any tonight. I'll try.
Just remember, none of that works about what you do.
True. That's very true. So thank you. All right. Well, we're here tonight to do the December quarterly financials, just as a reminder to the board. And for those of you that have been on the board, these are in the board packet every month, just on a quarterly basis. It sounds like we report these to the board and ask for approval at them. So, but they're in the consent agenda each month. So typically, just like with accounting, right, it's after the fact. So these are for December. They would have normally been presented in January, but we had the audit report and we didn't want to overwhelm you with financials, even though I was I was very excited about it, but I'm too new, so I was told no. I'm joking. I wasn't told no. All right. Perfect. Well, let's start out right with the revenues and expenditures. This is through December, like I said. So revenues sitting at just over 61 million, which is about 44.9% through the budget. As you can see there, where I was comparing to the prior two fiscal years as kind of a baseline, we're slightly below that. One thing I'll just note, and it's probably been said before by my predecessors, but we function completely different than your districts because our funding stream comes in different ways and it's metered differently. And so this isn't anything that we are really too worried about. Obviously, we're watching it, but it depends on when invoices are paid. It depends on when the state aids are metered to us. So expenditures, a little bit of the same. So we're slightly above the prior 2 years, but we're also going into budget revisions right now. So we'll make some adjustments to those areas and we'll come back, but nothing that we're overly worried about at all. So. All right, investments. Right now, we're sitting at just about $19.8 million that we have in investments. They're scattered throughout and laddered throughout our investment portfolio. So we're still in an okay interest environment. You can see there, interest is about 32.5. That will vary. If you go back and you look from month to month and you look in the board packets, you'll see up in the 200s, you'll see in the 150s, you'll see down into the 40s, but it depends on when those come in and when they're recorded. So who we have them invested with, once those investments mature, then we see that interest income. So you'll see variable, but obviously we're gone are the days of the 5% and the high 5s and low 6s. A lot of ours, though, admittedly, the people before me did a great job because they locked a lot of them in. So We're ranging anywhere from 3 to a few of them are over 4%. So, then the LTF construction investment, 2.17 roughly, and that is just kind of winding down those funds. So you see, we're still making interest in those from the last presentation that Brian did in October. We were still doing pay apps, and we paid down about 500,000 from them, and obviously we have stuff continuing to come in. All right, cash flow. Cash flow is obviously very important, right? So I've been in environments where cash flow is very tight, and it depends on the time of year. We have really healthy cash flow here. The organization's done a really good job to manage that. So as you can see here, this is a time, if you follow the green, that's the year that we're in. We are dipping down, but this is a normal time that we dip. So nothing that we're overly concerned about. We would forecast non-fund. We'll see a continued dip down, but you have to remember on the aggregated average, we're going to get those dollars. So it just depends on when the meter payments from the Department of Ed come in or from state, and then when invoices are paid. Disbursements and receipts, you can see here accounts payable. This is going to fluctuate massively. If you go back and look in the board packets, this can vary significantly from month to month when we have certain bills coming in or kind of more expensive times of the year. The same with payroll. This is probably a little bit higher time of year, just because with hourly folks that could drive that up or with hires that we made throughout the year. So total disbursements kind of right in that 9.9 range. And then receipts, again, probably different than your districts. You're probably used to seeing more consistency. We vary significantly, which is why our cash flow is just so critical. So probably most of these, and I looked at it this morning, it's been a long day, but majority of these are probably state aids that came through. All right, average daily membership. I know this wasn't in the October report, but as you can see here, I won't dig into each of these. Superintendent Dowd can add, or anyone can add to it, but you can see we're pretty close with a lot of them, down a little bit with the ALCs. We're up 48 students, which we would expect with NSO, and career and tech up 41, presentation we just had. And then special education, you've had presentations over the last few months talking about just the increase in referrals. So not a surprise to see that. And then care and treatments, also, again, not a surprise to see that dipping down a little bit because that can be extremely variable. All right, Dan will probably say that was the quickest presentation I've ever done. Usually Superintendent Anderson would be looking at me with big eyes like, dude, we want to get out of here. So, so thank you for your time. Any questions?
And it's totally okay if you don't know the percentage, but I was curious on the max fund.
Yep.
What is the interest rate you're getting?
You know, I just looked at that the other day. Dan, I'm sorry, I don't know right offhand. I even looked at it and
I was just
figured I was going to be asked it. I apologize.
totally fine.
I can
yeah.
follow up though.
I know it's a thing that's kind of as the, Fed
Yeah.
reduces the number. It's just, I'm glad you're locking in and taking advantage of that. But I was curious though, we have had this conversation before, and I'm curious if the situation's evolved. Are there requirements on how much you have to draw down those funds or how quickly, okay, you could have 6 months till you have to sell off some or you wind down that dollar amount?
I think it can vary because how we're set up is we use PTMA, and that's the Mintrust. That's where like our investment dollars are housed. That's what we were looking at tonight, right? So those are dollars that are locked up and laddered. And I think Brian talked about that at the October meeting. And then what you're talking about with MISLAF is PFM, and those are our operating funds. So those are the dollars that sit in there that then kind of flow through to US Bank, and that's how we pay our bills. It's basically like a flow through account. So, and that obviously what you were talking about, the liquid, we're still getting a decent rate on that. So we're still making pretty good interest every month with those dollars sitting in there. But situation would be like as our cash flow kind of winds down, you might see that investment account that we were looking at tonight. You'll see and have seen historically, maybe we're pulling 2 or 5 million out of there and just kind of watching our cash flow as it goes. Yep.
Yeah, do you have any?
Oh.
Perfect. So with that, I would take a motion to approve the monthly finance report as presented. I heard moved by Dan, second by Shannon. Any further discussion? Thank you.
Thank you.
And all in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? The chair votes aye and the finance report is approved. Okay, under board business, we don't have any policy review. You want to give the good news about policy review?
We are caught up, done, policies unless something comes our way. Or we start again in another year. We have another. Nice job.
Thank you
Emma.
very much to the ad hoc committee
Yes,
and
very
to superintendent Dowd and the staff members who have worked really hard on that. Thank you. Okay, I don't have anything besides just that the AMSD legislative preview was held. If you want to check that out, I think the video is on their website, and oh, Marcy put it in the Friday update too. It was pretty interesting. And the newsletter is attached to the board book. Check out, you have a paper flyer for the Get on the Bus. So March 3rd, that's coming up soon. It's after our next meeting, but check out if you can make it to, we're going to one of our care and treatment sites, and it's been a while since we've done that, so looking forward to that. So what happens for new board members is we meet here at the DO at 8:30. Or by 8:30, because they usually put coffee out a little before that. And then we actually get on a physical bus and we take it to the site, and then we get a tour and we talk with leadership, and then take the bus back here, and we're usually back here by 11 or 11:30. So try to make that happen if you can. The sign-up form will be in the weekly update tomorrow. So if you can let Juanine know that you're going to be coming, great. If you all of a sudden find that you can come and it's the day before, great, just let somebody know.
There's always room on the bus.
There's always room on the bus
And-
for everyone.
And you're more than welcome to invite any board members from your home district.
Yes. Okay, does anyone have anything once we're on the table?
Dan, I was just gonna add, liquid class is 3.56 and max class is 3.65.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you. Okay, I mean, we've got a lot going on here. Oh yeah, go ahead, Dan.
Sorry, what were you
No,
gonna say?
no,
Okay. We'll just provide another, update, as I'm sure you all know, our superintendent, Dr. Chase Anderson, is retiring at the end of the school year. While we are, sad to see him, step away, we are very focused on hiring a successor. We'll be interviewing the first round of candidates, in a few weeks here. We've delegated that responsibility to a committee of 3 board members, who are very, credentialed in this capacity. So we've had a great several meetings with MSBA. They've been helping us coordinate questions and reference the candidates and do the necessary background checking. So that's where we are, and we're very excited. I will say, while I cannot speak to the specific individuals who have applied for the role, we are certainly very, very happy. And certainly whoever we decide to hire will be more than able to take on the role. So we're excited.
I think it's like 45 degrees warmer than it was the last time we did this. And so last time I said, take care of yourselves and each other when you go out there. And I'm saying that again. It's not because of the weather, but take care of yourselves, take care of each other when you head out. And in the weeks for our next board meeting, Kim, did you?
I don't know if I mentioned this at our last meeting, but Wally Wallenberger is one of the 5 finalists for the National Teacher of the Year. So she won Minnesota, and now she's advancing to the nationals. So we're excited about that.
How many years has she been a teacher?
She's been a teacher for 50 years. And she's an English teacher. And one of the cool things is she still has the copy of Hamlet that she started, that she used when she started teaching. And when students would ask an interesting question or make an interesting observation, she would write it in the margins. So now there's all sorts of notes in the margins, and now she's had to move to putting Post-it notes in. Still has that. She's and she's known for her cartwheels still. Does cartwheels down the hall, cartwheels in the classroom. Yeah. Let's just say she brings a lot of energy. Absolutely.
I'll entertain the motion to adjourn. By Michael,
Second.
second by Mike. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, and we are adjourned at 7:27.
Well.
I think-
I don't know.
And I first heard it was when I was.
Okay.
Got it all figured out yet? Yeah, we're doing.
Thank you.
Welcome to my.